one of the things that I utilize to help kind of keep peace in my house when I have 4 large dogs and one boarder who comes 3 days a week is I use a space that is set up for them to go into. So the space is just a room that's off my main house, my dining room there, and I have it set up with their stuff in it, and I use it primarily if they first come in the back door, if they're covered in mud and they're wet, and I don't want them running through the house, so I don't have to constantly be cleaning mud off my living room floor, is I bring them in here, cheap carpet from Walmart that they can use to get their feet dried off on, their towels hanging right there, so I can get them dried off, and then they can stay back here until they get a little bit dried off. The whole area is blocked off with a small fence. I mean, it's only, I don't know, maybe 2.5 feet tall. The dogs have been taught to not bust past the fence. They all could. 2 of them could probably just step right over it, but they don't because they're not allowed to. The gate does latch. You can see there's little latches there, but I very rarely latch it because I don't need to. They just know better than to push past it. Different areas back here are fenced off for the purpose of keeping the things that are in that area from getting eaten. That would be mostly just my Doberman, 1-year-old dog who does still kind of steal shoes and chew on stuff. So instead of me having to constantly worry about it, it's fenced off. This area is also my where my desk, printer and whatnot is, and as you can see, it's fenced off there too. So I don't have to worry about them getting in there. Back in here, we've got a couple crates. This crate doesn't get used a whole lot. Mostly I just leave the door open, and sometimes when they're in here, they'll climb in there. This is Falco's crate. This is the Doberman's crate. He gets crated every night. He also gets crated if I'm out of the house for any length of time, just to make sure that he doesn't get himself into trouble. And they've got their bed back here. So again, I use this room when I need the dogs out of my way. Sometimes that means I have company over who are not dog people, and my dogs don't need to be up seeing them when they're not comfortable with them. If my 1-year-old granddaughter comes over, I do not let the dogs up there tearing around or really anywhere near her. She doesn't need to get knocked over. She's just learning how to walk. She doesn't need them bumping her. And they don't need to be up there kind of all in her face. She comes down and she stands at the gate and she visits with them, and that's fine. They stay back here. They again come in from outside, they get themselves dried off, they'll usually stay back here, and then I slowly release them into the rest of the house one by one to get up to come up and either have their meals or just come and sit with us. There's Johnny right there just laying on the other. He doesn't need to be in the room right now. There's none of them are in here. They don't need to be. So again, it's just one of the tools I use to be able to manage large dogs in my house and keep my sanity and keep them safe. And that's it. Easy peasy.